Hi, Desperate Housewives superfans. Welcome back to the pod. Before we really get into it at the top of the episode, we have something crazy to discuss, and that's the Wisteria Lane reboot.
Yeah, it actually gives me heart palpitations every time I think about it.
Think about how I feel. That's my company and not my department and not my
Yeah.
jurisdiction. I literally had a full crash out. This is how I felt when the Jonas Brothers decided to do something in not my department. It's kind of like really disrespectful and rude, but like watch this space. I will be getting on Wisteria Lane.
I actually feel like sick when I think about it.
No, me
Um,
too.
and part of me is like, no, like this is really good for us, but a larger, more, a louder part of me is like, Mayday, Mayday, Mayday.
I just think like it is good for us because it's really bringing Desperate Housewives back in the zeitgeist with our other projects we have as well, and it's like it's fine and good, but like I just think that we should have been asked about it first before they announced it.
Completely agree.
That's my problem. Like, hey, I'm with the mouse. I just think that Kerry Washington and whoever else was producing this, Onyx Collective, could have sent me an email and said, hey, like, is this okay if we do this? And
Yeah.
because I really, really feel like we now take ownership over Desperate Housewives. It's like
I
Mark Sherry than
feel
us.
I feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And even to the point where when I see people who like aren't our mutuals post Desperate Housewives stuff on TikTok, I'm like, what are you doing?
I'm like, hey, that's actually not your territory. It's like, but what makes me feel a little bit better about it is that Mark Cherry was also not involved, which I think is a little bit insane, and I kind of don't really trust this without
Yeah.
my input or Mark Cherry's. So I don't know. But also, again, if anybody at Onyx Collective, ABC 20th, wants to talk, look me up on roster, send me an email because I know you listen. I know we did this. I don't feel like it's going to hit the same unless we do a 22 episode season because that's what made Desperate Housewives good.
You're correct. I have no
So,
notes.
yeah, so do with that as you will. ABC Onyx Collective 20th television execs that listen every week. That's my hot take. Take it up with me over Teams, over email.
Over Teams is crazy.
Yeah, like send me the script. I'll approve. I'll approve, I'll approve
Just send me a
it.
PDF.
Send me
Send
PDFs.
me an editable PDF.
Send me, let me redline. Actually, send me your series Bible, please. Okay, you can copy Summer and Mark Cherry, and then we'll start
Then we'll
talking.
talk.
But
Well,
anyway,
Christy, I feel like now is a great time to get into our moments of desperation.
please, I was about to ask. Please start. You just told me off camera that you took the bus today, so I really want to hear about that.
Yeah, so my first Los Angeles public transit journey adventure was because I booked a job today that shot in Glendale, and it wasn't a vertical, but it was shot vertically, so it was like one of those silly Facebook videos that you
I
see
have a
that,
question.
yes, the little girl in the gray sweatshirt.
Thank you. Are verticals shot vertically?
Yeah.
So are they shot with iPhones or something?
No, so verticals are shot with like real cameras. This thing was shot with iPhones.
Oh, so I don't think they have to actually shoot vertically. What if Netflix picks it up? You're gonna have to watch it vertically?
So let me give you a little more context.
No, I'm just saying, like, what if Netflix calls whoever
Me.
produced Trade of Hearts and
Oh,
says,
oh,
"Hey, we
oh.
want Trade of Hearts on Netflix."
Yeah.
They can't change the ratio because it's shot
Oh,
vertical.
no, no, I think they can.
Okay.
But for something like what I did today, they couldn't because it was shot fully on iPhones.
Okay, got
And
it.
it was just one of those like videos where you'll see on Facebook, it's obviously very staged
Mm-hmm.
and they're like so over the top. Like you think verticals are over the top, this was even more so.
Mm-hmm.
And, there are these little clips of like, woman makes a scene at the grocery store, like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a great time doing it. At first, I thought everybody there was a freak, but then I warmed up to them. Um, but I had to get there first. And so
I hope they listen.
they definitely all do. So I had to get to Glendale for this. And I looked up how to get there, sans car. I was only getting like $100 for this. I didn't want to like take an Uber back and forth and like spend so much money. So it said it would be like a little over an hour. I left at 8:30 to get there for 10. And it said to take the the bus stop at like Hollywood and La Brea. And I was like, oh, that's so easy. Like I pass that bus stop every day. So the bus was going to be there at 8:56, leaving at 8:56. And at 8:51, I'm pulling up and I go, this was so simple. Like it said 11-minute walk, but I did it in 3. Like that's so crazy. Until I realized I was not at the correct bus stop.
I was waiting for that.
And that I had 2 or 3 minutes left to go up from Sunset to Hollywood. And lo and behold, the only bus that I could take to get there on time was already at the stop. When I got up there, I'm huffing and puffing and heaving. And I never do this because I think it's so embarrassing. But what would have been more embarrassing was waiting like a half hour for another bus. So I go, stop! Stop, please! And I'm like flailing my arms. And the bus driver, opens the bus for me. And I Googled on the way, do you need a card to ride the bus in Los Angeles? And it said, yes, you need a tap card. Thank you, AI overview on Google. And I said, oh, I don't know where to get one of those, but there's an app, super easy. And so I get onto the bus, and I have not finished creating an account for the tap card.
Oh, no.
So I'm standing there, and I was like, I'm so sorry, just 1 second. And now we've all done something like this. I know you have for sure. You have for sure.
No, this is very reminiscent of my first time trotting over to Staten Island. Like, this is parallel.
Yes. And my hands are, sweating because now I'm nervous. And I'm like trying to create a password. And I was like, I'm so sorry, just 1 second. And he goes, just get on.
Wow.
I said, thanks. So I ride this bus 45 minutes, and honestly, I was expecting a lot shadier characters to get on, but they didn't. Everybody was like cool and normal. And then I get to the shoot, whatever. I'm there for not even like 15 minutes when I like sit next to this girl on this cute little bench on the window, and I'm yapping with one of the other actors about Jane Austen, when all of a sudden, there's nothing underneath me anymore. And
what do you mean?
So
your chair?
So the bench we were sitting on completely broke off the wall. It was like screwed into the wall, but like suspended in midair. And we just fell straight down. Like flat on our asses.
Oh my God.
And I was like so confused because I didn't know what happened. And then everybody's going, oh my God, are you okay? Are you okay? I just felt so bad because it looked bad. We were in like this swanky clothing store boutique, and we have now ripped out a piece of their furniture from the wall. Lovely. So the other girl and I just like felt really, really bad about it all day, and the production had to call their like contractor friend to come fix it in the middle of the shoot.
Oh, lovely. Whoa, they said heavy load.
Yeah, and then I had to overcompensate and say 8 times that I'm very light.
Yeah, I was like, big boy for a big girl.
Yes. So I felt terrible.
Hey, I'm
sorry,
really
guys.
Small.
Hey, I'm really light, by the way. Light as a feather. But That was the worst part of all. And then we had a great shoot, and now I'm home and I'm doing this with you.
Wow. When was this? Today?
Yep.
Wow. That's crazy. I can't believe that that story like it resonates with me very strongly because I feel like you finally experienced what I've experienced almost every time I've had to go to Staten Island, to New Jersey. So I'm with you in solidarity. I can't believe there were no crazy characters because I'm really scared of LA public transportation.
Yeah, this bus line was fine.
Yeah, like I see the weird freaks at my bus stop every
Yeah.
morning and I don't like it. Yeah.
What about you? What was your moment of desperation?
I just, in general, guys, I've been pulled in every which way. And I was complaining to my mom today, and I was like, I know my biggest problem in my life right now is my friends want to hang out with me. Um, but I am that like I need a little bit of like a lot of alone time to really enjoy all my friends. And again, everybody wants to hang out, makes plans, what have you. I had a severe crash out, and not for nothing, people have been keeping tabs on me. Like, I get a crazy email from our building manager saying that we have too many people at the pool, too many parties. None of that's really true. We had two parties last summer. So neighbors are keeping tabs on me. People at work are keeping tabs on me. Uh, Whatever. So I just had a severe crash out. I had a great weekend. We went to the school fair, and then I saw Trisha Paytas on Sunday night, which was unironically one of the best concerts I've ever been to. But I think after that, I was just like kind of dying inside. Like I needed to just be nonverbal. So I took a sick day on Monday. I had like a bit of a sore throat, took a sick day, laid in bed, watched Gilmore Girls for like 12 straight hours.
I didn't know you
Um,
liked Gilmore Girls.
I just got into it. I'm watching it for the first time and I'm
Gilmore
obsessed.
Girls podcast when?
Oh, do you know how many Gilmore Girls podcasts there are out there? It's an
True.
oversaturated market. They do a Mother's Day brunch. I think that would be super fun to go to if my mom was here. Um, and that healed me. And then I got to work on Tuesday. Percocet, Percocet. What?
You took a Percocet?
No, I'm just calling myself Percocet.
Oh.
I don't know what a Percocet does. I don't do pills. But anyway, after that, I literally got to work. I felt so good. Nobody was bothering me anymore. So I just really sorry this is not as interesting as Summer's bus episode. I really had it like an insane like I laid in my bed, which I never do. I don't lay in bed during the day. I laid in bed all
We
day,
know.
didn't speak. Because also it was cloudy. I didn't speak. I could barely talk to my mom. I went on one walk and then I felt so good. So Andrew, not Andrew Cuomo, oh my God, miss him. Governor Gavin Newsom. I forget he's my
Hmm.
governor now. Governor Gavin Newsom, if you're listening, please push for the 4-day work week because I never feel more refreshed and ready to work and ready to do my job than when I start on a Tuesday or after a Friday through Sunday off. Like no more than 3 days because after 3 days and it's like ugh, now I've been on vacation. I don't want to get back to work. 3 days is the perfect amount of time.
4-day work. There's got to be a change.org petition somewhere we
I
can
think
sign.
Newsom has been trying to push for it.
Well, he better try a little harder.
Yeah, because it's like, come on. It's so much more refreshing. I feel like I've gotten more done in these 2 days since I have been in the office. Anyway, should we just get on into it?
Let's get on into it. All right, we are at season 3, episode 23, which is the season finale.
I could not believe we're already at end of season 3. Like this is the season that we've most like kind of slacked and taken a lot of breaks,
Well,
but it
yeah.
feels like it was so short because it's the best.
Yeah,
Like I think our season 2 dragged on. I was like end.
I know, but I also do kind of feel like we've been on season 3 for a while, so I'm excited to get into another season.
But this episode's called Getting Married Today. And that's from that song. What show is that from? I'm getting married today. Not getting married today.
Company.
I just know the song. Not getting married today. Not getting married today. So we start off, it is Gabby and Victor's wedding day, and she's doing all the bridal traditions, and Bree is finally back, and she's bringing Gabby's something new.
Yeah, and we've got Lynette and Susan helping Gabby, but they are eagerly awaiting Bree's arrival. And Gabby's getting really anxious because she's like, "Where's Bree with my something new?" And she doesn't want to get married without all of the four things to have.
And Susan's like, "You can take my new lipstick." And Gabby goes, "I just spent thousands of dollars on hair and makeup. You want me to look like I just ate a popsicle?" And that was really valid because why are you offering your lips? Like, her makeup's done. She has red lips. Like, why are you sabotaging
Yeah.
her?
Hey guys, this is Summer from the future editing. I don't know what is going on, but we're having some form of technical difficulty where I can't find about a minute of the recording. All you really need to know is that Bree comes back and she's pregnant, or so it seems.
Now we go into a flashback, and Mary Alice talks about how there's nothing more important than family. And that's the theme of the episode.
Okay, this is not a flashback. We're just going back to 3 days earlier.
Yeah, that's a
That's
flashback.
not a flashback because that would mean this whole episode is a flashback.
No, it's flashing back to 3 days
But it's
earlier.
not a flashback. It's just it like this the cold open was more of like a flash forward.
So you're telling me,
That's not a flashback. That's so confusing if it's a flashback because then this whole episode is like, ooh, the past. Which it
yeah, it's
is,
the
but like
past
not
three
in that way
days.
where it's not a flashback. But a
So,
flash,
okay,
because a flashback is like a flash, like, ooh, this moment happened, not the entire episode.
so you're telling me that by that same token, Wicked is not a story told in flashback?
I wouldn't say that it is. It's just like a telling of a story, but that's not like it's not flashing back.
But
It's
it's from
just like
an earlier
telling the
point in
past.
time.
Yeah, but it's not like flashbacks. It's just telling the past. But a
It's
flashback is like,
a flashback.
no,
It's not a flashback. It's just telling the story from earlier than.
no, but it's not a flash. It's not like a flashback.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Like, it's not a
Okay, okay,
fleeting
okay.
thing.
This is the definition of flashback. And oh, more formally known as analepsis, didn't know that, is an interjected scene that takes the narrative back in time from the current point of the story. Flashbacks are often used to recount events that happened before the story's primary sequence of events to fill in crucial backstory. So it's like a flash of time to fill in something we need to know. But it's not like the entire episode is not in a flashback.
So, what would you call this?
I would just call it a cold open of a flash forward, and then we're back to present day.
I want to put you behind bars.
You always say something like that when you have nothing else to recount because I'm right.
No,
Why are
no,
you
I
booing
I
me?
think
I'm
you are
right.
incorrect, but I also have half an hour to record, so I don't want to fight.
Okay, listeners, is this whole episode a flashback?
Or a quick flash forward cold open.
Sound off in the comments below and on Instagram. Thank you.
And join the
Anyway.
Discord, by the way.
Yeah, also we can discuss it on the Discord. Um and then oh, there's also in the little like montage, there was a really insane like obviously photoshopped photo of Brie like from a season 1 promo with Orson in it when that picture was absolutely with Rex before. I was like,
Really?
hey,
I
that's
didn't
lazy.
notice.
Yeah, it's the one when she's in pink like I was
Oh,
like
yes.
you didn't know Rex in that point in time or
Orson, yeah.
Orson. Um, and then Edie and Carlos. This I hated this. This was a crazy scene. It's like a dream sequence.
Yeah.
Edie is hooking up with Carlos, and then her mom's in the corner talking to her about how she's a terrible person.
It really felt like it came from nowhere.
Yeah. It
And
was
then
just like it was weird.
Edie wakes up from the dream and the doorbell rings. We've got Gabby standing there. She asks Carlos if he wants chicken or fish because he hasn't RSVP'd to her wedding.
And he says, I'm not going. And she goes, you have to be there for optics because Edie's coming and everybody's going to think I don't want you there. And he goes, well, I'm going to make a crazy scene. I'll show you. I'll see you at the reception. And she's like, okay.
Then we go to Susan and Mike, who are discussing the possibility of having a chocolate fountain. And we just get Susan's fantasies verbalized, and she just wants everything to be perfect. Mike is more simplistic, and he's not too concerned about competing with people like Bree and Gabby and their weddings.
It is crazy how I did realize how long we have actually been on the season because we started the season with Bree and Orson's wedding.
Yeah, like this season was Alma.
Yes. I think that's why it feels so long because we wrapped up Alma like halfway through.
Yeah,
So now we've just kind of been like giggling and watching the women have their little lives
but not
without the
Bree.
mystery, but not Brie. And then Lynette is on the phone with her sister Lucy, saying that she has Hodgkin's lymphoma. And this actually is so burned into my brain because she says, I have Hodgkin's lymphoma. If you have lymphoma, like this is the one you want to get. And I've always remembered this. If somebody I know later after watching it got lymphoma, I would always ask and I'd be like, "Oh, they're gonna be good. That's Hodgkin's." So, I learned a lot.
Yeah, it's like how, they say if you're gonna get cancer, prostate cancer is the one you want, um, which is also like an insane thing. But
Yeah,
and then Lynette asks her sister for money, but she says no because she can't afford to help out.
because Dave lost his job at the plant.
Ugh,
Losing your job at the plant is such like a you're writing this episode. Dave lost his job at the plant.
yeah,
What like what plant? Why is it always a random plant
yeah.
doing what? And then
Embezzling?
Tom is embezzling plants.
No, that's not what I meant.
um, and then Tom is being super nice and he's like, don't worry, like we're gonna find the money. I don't want you to worry about it. Um I'm gonna give up my tennis club membership. And Lynette goes, you're gonna give up your tennis club membership? You can't even play tennis. That's like me giving up shampoo because I'm gonna lose my hair.
Yeah, that was kind of an insane thing to say.
I think that was me. He's being nice. He's not gonna be disabled forever. So I don't know. I thought it was kind of mean, but she's hurting. Hurt people hurt people.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then we go to Bree and Orson, who are in their hotel room packing up to go home.
And they're being really vague. They don't want the audience to see the truth. So she's like, Orson, thank you for raising this child like it's your own. Like who else would it be?
Yeah, I think
George?
I think
Imagine.
this storyline confused me because I already knew.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, wait, what why is she saying that? Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
it made me more dazed and confused.
I think it was also kind of like unnecessary because we know Danielle was pregnant and we know she
Yeah.
disappeared. So I don't think they needed to like try uh to I'm having a day where I can't think of English. And it's always words that start with D today. Anyway, let's keep it going.
Danielle,
Danielle, distinguish, disguise.
disabled.
I couldn't think of disabled. I couldn't think of disguise. I couldn't think of oh my god, not deliberation. Frank, I'm forgetting it again.
Is it?
Deposition. I
Oh,
couldn't
yeah,
think of
yeah,
the word
yeah.
deposition today. Words that start with D are not in my vernacular on this current day. Anyway,
You
I
got
call.
one.
What didn't start with D?
Day.
If I forgot day, you have to put me in the hospital. Like brain tumor.
Okay, sorry. I'm also moving really slow. Then Gabby and Victor are having dinner with, I wrote some old white man that we learn is Victor's dad, Milton.
They look the same age.
Yeah.
It's insane casting.
Yeah.
And So one of them makes some joke about, I think Victor makes a joke about Milton, his dad, not being in Gabby's league, or Gabby being out of Milton's league. And she goes, "Ah, he's a multi-millionaire. He runs my league." I I got the ick from that. I was like, Gabrielle, like you're making yourself sound like an escort. You gotta stop. And then they start talking about the campaign, the governorial campaign he wants to run in the Eagle State. And she's like, "You're literally not running for governor if I'm going to be your wife. Like, that's not my business. You're never doing this again. I hated this campaign. I hated every second."
I kind of wish that they would just say California.
Yeah. It's this. Honestly, Victor would kind of eat as the governor of
I
California.
know.
Like, I see it.
Victor, Victor,
Victor
Victor.
Lang, Victor
Victor
Lang,
Lang.
Victor
Victor,
Lang.
Victor, Victor
Victor
Lang.
Lang. Oh my God, when we write in Victor Lang in the next election. I mean, you shouldn't do that.
Oh, yeah,
Us
no.
electing a fictional character for governor. That's such a California thing.
Yeah, it is.
Better than Karen Bass.
Then it is the middle of the night. It's about 3 a.m. and Susan wakes up to see Mike getting ready for a plumbing job. And she's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And Mike is essentially on call as a plumber at all hours because he wants to make enough money to do the lavish things for her that Ian could easily do.
And she immediately, Susan, this is like the least selfish Susan has ever been in every episode because immediately she's not like, "Oh, good, go."
Yeah.
She's like, "Wait, no, we can scale it back. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't like care about this wedding that much. I thought it would be fun, but it's fine." And he goes, "No, I have to give you the wedding Ian would have given you. Relax."
I love him so much.
But what about all the money from Daddy Mafia Boss? I guess it all went to Zach now, but
Zach
he has to have
Young.
some cash
I
still.
miss Zach Young. I mean, maybe
Me
not
too.
Zach, but I miss Paul.
I'll see him again one day.
I know.
And will I see you again?
Then Lynette's mom arrives, and this was so funny. She walks into Lynette's house. She really barges in and says, "Tom, get my things." And then she sees all the kids there, and she goes, "I didn't know you opened a daycare center."
I've never seen my grandmother more reflected on television than I did with this woman.
Really?
Oh my God, like literally exact personality. I need my mom to watch this. She sees Kayla and she goes, "Who's that, Parker? Is that your little girlfriend?" And he goes, "Oh, that's my sister." And she goes, "Hey, Tom, is that your little bastard?" That was crazy.
And then I wrote that Lynette has eldest daughter syndrome, but I don't
Yeah.
know what made me write that.
Oh, because I have it. I said Stella had cancer as well when she was growing up, and they have a conversation about Lynette had to raise her sisters when she was going through all of that. So she was like, "I'm gonna pay it forward and take care of your kids." And then we get to Carlos and Edie, and he is working overtime trying to get her pregnant and forces her to do leg on wall.
I hated that.
Me too, but like I'm like, why are you? I love doing leg on wall. Why are you complaining?
Yeah, but you're not doing it for that reason.
No, but it's like it's still like a nice activity to do.
You do love leg on wall.
I love leg on wall. I'm always doing leg on wall. So I was like, come on.
Does Carlos want anything except a baby?
Not he clearly doesn't care about having a job. Still haven't seen him work. We have not seen him work all season.
That's because
He
he's
has
doing
just been
TikTok
hanging
Live.
out. Yeah, he's Carlos Solis is living in 2025 doing TikTok lives. Like he takes a time machine every day. And that's why we see him doing literally nothing. Like he's nothing to do except get a woman pregnant.
Yes. I just like at this point, Carlos, it's time to adopt. Wait, didn't they try that?
They did try that,
They
yes.
did. Okay. Never mind.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Your storyline in Divorce to the Secret Baby falls down the stairs, loses baby, like Gabby. And then Gabby, when the adopted baby is being taken from her, she goes, "My baby! My baby! You can't take my baby!" That's crazy.
Yeah. You're
You guys
right.
have gotta watch Divorce with a Secret Baby and
They're like, we already have.
tell me it's not better than Trade of Hearts. Yeah, so then we're back to the Scavos, and Stella has offered to fully take care of Lynette's finances. And then Lynette like goes off and says, "Well, you were a raging alcoholic and a bad mom."
Yeah, it's sad. So Lynette's mom is like listening from outside the bedroom door, and Lynette is just giving Tom this like laundry list of reasons that she doesn't want to let the kids alone with her mother.
And then Tom compares what Lynette did or didn't do with Rick to Lynette's abusive mom.
Then we are back with Victor and Gabby. And Gabby says something really funny because Victor's like, "Oh, I thought, we weren't supposed to see each other before the wedding, like the night before." And Gabby goes, "I was trying to respect tradition, but I got horny."
I knew you'd like that one.
Yeah.
Um, and she catches him looking at polling data, and she's like, "Hey, we're not doing this. I told you." Which the thing about her is, I love that even though she's like, "Oh, multimillionaires are my league," she's not submissive to them. She's like, "Okay, we're getting married, but I'm actually now you answer to me."
Right.
So she's like, "Hey, if we're getting married, you're literally not running for governor. I told you this." And then they get in an altercation, and she says, "I said this would never happen to me again. I was never going to marry somebody who was going to choose their career over me. It's not happening." And he says, "I swore I would never let a stupid woman hold me back." And I went, "Oh,
Yeah.
Gabrielle Solis is anything but."
Yeah, that like really shook me to my core.
Yeah. And then she says, "Wedding off." And again, love seeing her just be like, "Oh, you're going to call me stupid? Well, I'm going to walk away.
Yeah.
This is not happening." So respect to Gabby Solis.
Then the next day, Milton goes to apologize to Gabby on Victor's behalf. And Milton basically takes the blame for all of this. And he's like, "This is my fault. Victor is so desperate for my approval. That's why he wants to do another campaign. I never gave him enough approval as a kid."
That was an insane thing to do. She goes, "Why would he think that you didn't approve of him?" And he goes, "Because I never showed it to him." Like, okay, Milt. Also, how old were you when you had him? Like 16?
Or 6?
Or literally 6? Like,
Like,
Milton was a victim. Then she goes, "Why am I not hearing this from Victor himself?" And he goes, "He's going to be here in 2 minutes." And then Victor rolls up.
and we see Victor and Gabby making up, but it's obviously a setup as we see Milton like sneakily, surreptitiously smiling and rolling off on his merry way.
Ugh, I hate these. Ugh, I don't know what to call this like duo because they look like twins and brothers, but also like a father brother duo. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's something in there, but I can't get it. So then Edie is getting ready for the wedding, and she leaves, and Carlos goes through her purse to pay the paper boy and finds her birth control. Of course he didn't even go, "What's this?" He said, "I know what birth control looks like
Right.
because I've messed with it before."
That's right. That's
And
right.
then there was a really funny interaction with the paper boy, and he goes, "What's that?" And he goes, "Ah, birth control." And he goes, "I only take cash."
And then we see Julie greeting the Vanda Hodges. And I just thought, hey, so when did Julie like grow up? She looks significantly older here.
She probably just had like a super growth spurt like in the last few months, and she wasn't
Yeah.
shooting. And it's probably the blonde hair too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, which they address. She's like, "Ah, I'm blonde." Yeah.
But like she was always blonde. I guess she just got blonder.
Yeah, she lightened up a little bit. And they're all being super shifty. She's like, "Where's Danielle?" And they're like, uh, "She decided to stay in Switzerland." Like, if I was Julie, I would be like, "Hey, I think Bree Hodge killed her daughter." Like, she was giving like Casey Anthony. I don't know where
I don't know
Danielle
if we
is.
can say that.
I don't care. It's the truth. We can say whatever we want. It's our podcast.
Okay.
You've got you've got to lighten up. I don't care. You can't cancel me because I don't care. She's giving Casey Anthony, and Casey Anthony should
Yeah.
don't like her. It's just the truth.
I'm not
The tea.
standing Casey Anthony.
Just like I hate Hitler.
Wait, where was I? Oh, I saw that Tim Robinson Paul Rudd movie the other night with Frankie.
Oh yeah.
And they did a whole thing about hating Hitler, and I was like, this is the pod.
Hey, maybe we should send a cease and desist.
Yeah, like no one's allowed to hate Hitler but us.
Hey, I hate Hitler is kind of copyrighted.
Kind of our thing.
It's kind of our thing, so hate another crazy world leader. And then all the girls are getting together before the wedding, which I really liked, except they exclude Edie once again.
Yeah, but I did like just the girls being back together.
Yeah. No, it was a fun little scene. And the wedding is stunning.
Carlos shows up and he confronts Edie about the birth control. I felt so bad for Edie.
Me too, because it's again, Carlos is trying to control a woman's body. Is she lying? Sure. But you know what? That is her prerogative, okay? She can lie about whatever she wants. And she goes, "I just wanted you to like fall in love with me first," which is a little kind of crazy, but let her do whatever she wants.
That's right.
So, and again, Carlos, you did this, but you did it worse because you forced a woman to be pregnant. She's just using her rights that she had
That's
at
right.
the time.
Then Bree is sitting there and lying about her pregnancy. I was just confused with her timeline here. And again, Mark Cherry Math, because she says something about, oh, when I went to the doctor and lo and behold, I was 2 months along. And it's like, okay, so she would not be showing that much at 2 months, but I think her math is just off.
I think she was 2 months along 2 months ago. Like, I don't think,
Okay.
because she's been gone for a while. So I think she was at the doctor a while ago
Okay.
because she's been gone for a few months.
At the doctor.
Yes, because I think she is as pregnant as Danielle is, obviously.
Okay, yes.
So whenever Danielle got pregnant, it's kind of hard for us because we're not watching this in like a traditional like few weeks off. So it probably made more sense like people who were genuinely watching it week by week, like as it aired. So, yeah. And Brie, the timeline's crazy because Brie has not even met Victor. Like she's been gone for so long that the whole like Victor storyline happened while she was out.
Oh, that's bizarre.
Yes, because when we met him, that was the episode that was in the boy's perspective, and that was the last time we saw Orson.
Wow, 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 wow.
And then Lynette, like, they're like, "What's going on with you, girl?" And she's like, "Not ruining the day, nothing."
Ugh, my poor Lynette.
I know, my Shayla.
My Shayla. And then Gabby overhears Victor and Milton talking, and it just made me sick to my stomach.
She hears them say that this is going to be really good for the campaign and that they're going to get the Latino vote. And she's like, "Oh, I was just a pawn in this game." So she just starts running off. And, oh, he also says something really vile that, because Milton's like, "How are you going to control her now?" And he goes, "Oh, it'll be fine. Like, I'm the husband and I control my assets." Super
I
fans,
hate it.
when I tell you I had such an extreme averse physical reaction to this, I
yeah.
got so mad. I wanted to cut his throat.
Yes.
I wanted to jump into the TV and cut his throat. And be
So in the
like,
next scene, Christy cuts Victor's throat. This
The way
random blonde jumps into frame with a knife.
Like, hey, I don't remember this scene. I changed the timeline. Okay, I jumped into the screen and I slit his throat and I ended Victor Lang.
And that's the end of season 3.
Yeah.
And then we go to Lynette's mom babysitting the kids, and snake that she kind of is, she asks Kayla about Rick, and Kayla bargains with her, and she's like, I'll tell you about Rick if you let me watch a movie.
This was so me and my grandma when I was a kid. Like, I really could not believe. Um, and then she's like, yeah, because she goes, Tom and Lynette are always late. They're always like an hour after they say they're gonna come home. And Stella's like, oh, you're a nosy little kid, aren't ya? You really pay attention.
And then we see that Mike is falling asleep at the table at the wedding, and Susan takes this opportunity to go talk to the Reverend.
And she goes, hey, Reverend, you got any plans tonight? Then we're back at Carlos and Gabby, and he's drinking, and he said, I had everything. I had you, and I blew it all. I screwed it all up. And she is floored by being called an asset and being controlled that she kisses him. I love it when they have their secret affair. I'm so excited for season 4.
I'm gonna crash out.
Why?
Because I think it's using my computer mic.
That's okay. The computer mic doesn't sound that bad. It's fine.
I know, I'm just annoyed because I thought it was using this.
But it's fine. It doesn't sound bad.
Then Lynette comes home and she talks to her mom. This was a very heated scene, and Stella brings up Rick, and I just felt like this wasn't fair. Like, Lynette literally didn't do anything, and everybody makes it into something, but Lynette, all she did was have feelings, and she didn't do anything with them.
And also Stella's she is oh my god, she is not controlling, comparing. She's comparing like her affairs and all the men she brought in and out of the house to Lynette's like not even an affair. Like, she literally just hung out and had dinner with him, and she's like, yeah, the kids told me, like the kids know about this, which, like, don't throw that in her face.
Yeah.
Like, that's a really like spooky thing to think that your kids are like catching on to your marital drama, because it'll imprint on them.
And then BREE is catfishing Julie by pretending to be Danielle on email. And then Danielle calls from her quote-unquote boarding school in Switzerland.
And she's in a convent and like super pregnant. And I love the scene because I feel like this one's always memed, but it's BREE like in bed and she goes, do young people still say awesome?
Right.
Or like, I don't remember what the other one she said, but do young people still say awesome is also burned into my brain. And then she says that they're gonna drive up to see her soon, so you know she's not all the way in Switzerland. And then BREE takes off the pregnancy belly.
I was so confused because I was like, wait, was this supposed to be a twist? Does the audience not know? And obviously we've tackled that.
It just must have been so weird for Marsha Cross because it's just funny because she's actually pregnant the whole season and they're poorly hiding it, and then she comes back. I think that's why it felt like she was pregnant for so long.
Yeah.
Because then she comes back with fake pregnancy belly that I think goes into has to go into season 4 too.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I couldn't remember the timeline of her fake pregnancy.
Then Mike gets a call to take another job in the middle of the night. And I got so confused as to why we heard the voiceover in the phone until moments later it's revealed that Julie is the one making the call.
So then Mike is driving in the woods and a man in the middle of the woods just goes, help, help. Listen, this whole scene was really sweet. However, I don't understand how Julie and Susan would have beat Mike to this random spot in the woods. Who's this random guy screaming help? Where did they get him? Susan had to like get ready. So she maybe had like let's give her like 45 minutes, I would say, to get ready and then go to this location. So how did they beat Mike there by a lot?
Right.
Also, Mike is already, I feel like he wouldn't be stupid enough to be like, to help a guy in the middle of the woods in the middle of the night going, help, help. Like, he's been through enough. He was recently hit by a car. He's been he threw a man over a balcony. He's been shot at multiple times. You think he's gonna fall for help, help? I feel like an animatronic when I do this.
Help, help.
Help me, I'm Bernie Sanders. I need help.
Bernie with a lisp.
Yeah. So then Mike pulls over to help Bernie, and they're like,
Reverend Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders. And there's a suit that says, wear this. And he puts on the suit. And Susan's there for their little surprise wedding.
And it's very, very beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I really felt like this episode did a good job of staying on the theme of family.
Mm-hmm.
And we even close out with seeing Edie, and it's tied back to her having no family, really having no one. And I got chills. I mean, I know what happens, but like I got chills.
I forgot about this. We end with Edie, suicide attempt. I mean, suicide maybe. And it's actually a crazy shot for network television.
Yeah.
You know what? And that couldn't be done today because all the little snowflakes would be like, trigger warning, I'm suicidal too. And it's just like, you need to see difficult things on TV.
It's called exposure therapy.
It's called exposure therapy, literally. So I can't believe they did a shot of her hanging. Do you think she was like doing pull-ups up there? Like, oh yeah.
She couldn't have been because her arms were at her sides, right?
I think it was just her feet.
Oh.
Yeah, she had to have been hanging on to something.
Yeah.
But
or like
I thought it was a crazy shot. I just like, could you imagine? And again, like I binged this the first time I watched it, so I probably had next episode.
Yeah.
But like, imagine being like an Edie stan, and you're like, oh, Mike and Susan wedding, so cute, yay, finally.
Yeah, no, I can
crazy.
I can imagine watching this in real time when it aired and going.
Like, you can't just like, and then you have to wait May, June, July, 3-4 months for it to come back.
All right, guys, I really have to run, but this has been fun.
This was a great episode. Keep up with our Discord. Again, guys, do you think that this whole episode was a flashback or not?
Do you think it was a flashback, which is the correct answer? Or do you think it was a cold open as a flash forward?
Which is the correct answer. Okay, guys, until next time, this has been, we're gonna tell, and
Y'all come back now, you hear?